Hi, everyone. Welcome to the last training of our summer R training series. You guys finally made it. So today we will be going over the last section of week 6. And yeah, if everyone's ready, we can get started and I will share my screen and kind of do it in the same way I did it on Tuesday because that seemed to be a good format that everyone liked. Where I'll kind of slowly walk through everything, and there should be some TAs in the chat if you guys have any questions. But without further ado, I'll get started. So, okay. So today we're going to be talking a lot about strings and regular expressions. So the first section will be all about strings and kind of these different ways you can use different functions in R to work with strings. When we think of strings, we think of just like um, it could be any like group of data in like varying different data types. But mainly, when I think of a string, I think of a string of like character elements. So first, we'll start off by loading tidyverse because we're going to need that to do all these like string, like these different string functions. Oh, I loaded tidyverse already before we started, but so nothing popped up in my console, but stuff should pop up. And then we're going to make a vector called X, and we're going to include a couple characters. So a character is like something in quotes. It's fun. And then we're separating these by commas. And then the last item is NA. So let's just run that and then you'll see we have it over here. If you really wanted to see it, you could always just hit X and enter and you'll see it pop up down here. So first we're going to run something called string length on X. Oh, so sorry, str. I wrote the whole word string. Okay, so the string length tells you the length of each character in the within the vector that you told it. So our first element has 1 character, our second element has 8 characters, and then our last one is just NA because it was NA. Whereas if you just do length of X, so in like a normal data set full of like values, like integers, you could just do length of this and it'll tell you how many values are in the vector. But let's see what happens when we do it with this like character vector. Okay, so then it's only telling you the number of like individual like items or elements. So it's only indicating three characters actually is how R is recognizing it. So that's just to show you the difference between these. So counts the number of characters or the number of, yeah. So sometimes what I'll do also when I'm taking notes, I'll write down like what like the result in the console underneath and in notes so I know what it does. 1, 8, and A. So I wrote returns because that's just what R returns. Whereas length, um, Okay. So hopefully this is making sense to everybody. If not, feel free to interrupt me. Oh, increase the font size. Sure. Sorry, I forgot to do that. Is that a little better? Okay. So next, we're going to combine strings. So we're going to make another, we're going to make this character A, assign it to the value 1. And there it is in our global environment. And then we're going to use the function str_c because the C stands for like combine. And then I'm just typing in this little, it looks like a file naming like setup here. And then we'll do A and then .csv. So as you can kind of see, so when we run this line, our output, it gives us this full like ./output/aq-1.csv. So I can definitely see this being useful if, say, you're running a loop of something and you need to save multiple files over and over again and save them as like 1, 2, 3, 4, where you could assign like this A could be a whole vector of like, 1 through whatever, in order. And then you could run within your loop to save files using, this little function. So that is just a way you could use that. Okay. So then next, similarly, we're going to create a string, but basically like a date. So we have all the numbers, and then we're telling it we want to separate these numbers by a slash. When we run this, we get a date in this like pretty traditional American format that we're used to seeing. And note that anything that's in quotes is going to be considered like R will read in as a character. So remember how we worked with dates and times a couple weeks ago? If there was a situation where you needed to turn a bunch of individual numbers into a date, you could use this formula for that. And then you would have to, if you wanted to work with the data in a date format sense, you would have to then change everything from a character to a date using your looper date functions. Okay. So similarly, we can do things to inputs that are vectors as well. So we're going to make another variable x is 1. So this is not going to be like integers because we're putting these quotes around each of these numbers. They're going to be characters. Okay, so here's our new x. And then going to use our str_c again and We're going to run this on X and added something called collapse. And we use collapse to combine input vectors into one single string. So if you have like a bunch of separate items that you want to combine, so kind of like what we did here, this is just showing you another example, except instead of like if they're separated out by, this is like if they're separated out by commas. So we would use this collapse argument here. Oh, forgot to make sure this was a comment. So when we run that, this is what it returns. So if we just run X, it has each number separated out. But if we wanted to combine it, that's when we would run this X with the collapse equaling nothing. You just have to put quotes and like nothing in the quotes to indicate. So this means like if there is something separating these, like that's not just like a space, I believe. Never mind, I could be wrong about that, but that's just how you could use this to return everything in one string. Okay. I know I checked the questions at the beginning, but please, like I said, interrupt me if I'm going too fast or something. Let me just save this really quick. So next, we're going to create another vector and see what this combining function, how that works with two vectors. So do y, and y is going to be the same thing as our x. Make sure your commas are not inside your quotes. They should not be green. Okay, so here's y. And if we run on x, comma, and y on both, we get, so you'll see what x and y each look like over here. And when we combine them, it'll combine them to each other like this. So oh. Okay. So next is subsetting strings. So all of these, like as you can see, they're going to be str underscore and then something, whatever the function does. And these are going to be all your like string related functions. So we're going to make a new X, and we're, I guess, using this data set, another data set that's built in R called fruit. And we're going to subsection it like this. And what happens when we run that? It gives us 3 different fruits. So if we run str upstream, okay. And then we'll run that on X and then 1, 3. So what is what is this doing? It's basically taking each value in X and subsetting, or yeah, subsetting just the first three characters in each string. And that's what this 3 is indicating. And the 1, I believe, indicates that it's at the beginning of the character, because now we're going to run subsets. First 3. So now we're going to run this same function again, but slightly differently. And now what this is doing is giving us the last 3 characters in each of the objects. And yeah, so it looks like negatives would be used to do like end of word items. And then there's another string function that can change all of the case in each of the characters in a string. So back using our fruit example still, if we did str to lower, well, first we'll do upper. I know it has lower first, but I want to do it with upper first to show you, because right now our fruit is already in lowercase. So if we do to upper for X and we run it, it changes everything to all caps. And then you could do the same thing to lower. And it'll turn everything back lowercase. So that's like a good, easy way to all capitalize or all lowercase a vector of string elements. Okay, and then next is using a sorting function for strings. And that's using this function called str sort. And we'll run that on our fruit vector again. And basically all that's doing is then sorting our vector or our character string in alphabetical order. So that's everything related to the string functions. Any questions so far? I see there's some, okay, and it looks like they're being addressed in the chat. Okay, good. Okay, so we're doing regular expressions next. Okay, so we're gonna have to install a new package you guys haven't worked with yet. I already did install it, but I'll do it along with you anyway. HTML widgets is what it's called. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I already installed it. And then once it's installed, you can go ahead and load it. And again, I already loaded mine, so nothing's really going to happen. And I'll just wait a bit because I know sometimes installing takes a little bit of time. Okay, if everyone is good, I'm gonna keep going. So, but don't worry, I'm not like running a bunch of stuff yet. we're still kind of just like viewing like ways we can work with regular expressions, still using our old X vector. So first we're going to use str view. And then we're still using this apple, cherry, blueberry, our fruit vector. And then just a single quote, not a double quote. And I believe, oh wait, actually, I think you can do a double quote. I don't know why I did a single one. Oh yeah, there's a single one in the example. I'm not sure why, but either way. So what happens when we run this, it looks through our fruit, our little fruit vector, and finds the RRY string in here and is like highlighting it for you. So we can do this a couple ways, and there's like a couple different little like ways to deal with special characters. So like this is a way. So basically what we're doing with this is looking for like a pattern, this RRY pattern. So whenever you use this, kind of like anything we do in R, you have to match the exact characters. This includes case. So when you're looking, you know, when you're trying to highlight something, just make sure, and you feel like you're getting errors, just make sure it matches exactly what it is that you are trying to look for. But let's try running it with the using this dot nomenclature. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So we're going to run str view x, and then in your quotes, you're going to do dot e dot. And the dot, or the period, whatever, matches any character except for a new line. So it won't match, you know, it only does it in that line. It won't go to the next line. So let's run this and see what that looks like. Okay, so because dot could be any character, it highlighted the HER because those are the two characters around E and cherry, and then UEB because those are the two characters around the letter E. Now, you're probably like, that's great, but what if we need to find the actual, like an actual period or dot in a vector? So this is all in Min's GitHub page, so I might just like copy it all over, but I'll kind of explain um, what it's saying. So yes, she's saying if the dot matches any character, how do we match? How do we match the dot? So we use the backslash to escape any special behaviors. So in order to match an actual period, you would need to put this backslash before it because that would like negate using the dot as like a special matching any character would make it just the dot. So let's see how that works. Well, actually, first, when a backslash appears in regular expression, that's what reg x stands for. So when that appears, it doesn't work. So you have to do it in order to make it work, you have to put it as 2. So I know that's like a lot, but I'll show you what it means. So if you run str view, we got ABC. Oh, A, C, dot C, and BEF, all in quotes. Now, if we want to separate that, I mentioned we have to do the backslash dot. But when we do that, it doesn't work because, like I said, unfortunately, but like I said, this doesn't work because we need to do the double. So if we do the double backslash, so if we do str view, and then you can just copy everything if you want, except I won't copy the last part. We have to do double backslash dot. And then when we do that, now it picks out the dot and it highlights it here. So that's how you deal with this way that you can find any character, but then if you actually need to find a period or dot, there is a way to do it. And then there's also ways to match the start and end of a string. So for example, back to our fruit example, make sure your X still looks like this, that it says apple, cherry, blueberry. So if we run str view and then X comma caret, oh, you have to do it in quotes, caret A, it will pick out the A that's at the beginning or match the beginning. And then if you want to match something at the end, you would do the character and then a $sign. So when you're matching the beginning, when you're doing the beginning, you need the caret in front within the text. And then when you're matching the end, you need the $sign after the text. Okay. So to give you an example, that's like more than this, we're going to make a new, I'm going to call this one Z. I know it's X in Min's code, but I don't like that she uses the same one sometimes because I get confused. We're going to call this Z, and we're going to do apple pie, apple, and apple cake. And then run that. So we have Z. And then we're going to run str view Z, and then the caret, the word apple, and then $sign, because we're looking for this specifically. So this will show us just the word apple because we want A at the beginning and E at the end. So what would this look like if we just ran it with just the word apple? It would give us every single one, including pie and cake, because we're not telling it, I want only the word apple where A is at the beginning and E is at the end. So now we're just getting the one apple in position 2. Okay, So that is regular expressions. How are things going in the chat? Oh, negatives are counting backwards. Okay. Thank you, Joel. I'm not super familiar with strings. Can you guys tell? But anyway, it's all good. We're almost done. Are there any like pressing questions or anyone has a hand raise or anything? No? All right. So I enter down a lot because I don't like typing in my script right at the very bottom. So that's why I spaced out a lot if you're curious. Okay, so lastly, we're going to be working with these other like string related functions. So first we're going to create something called report and name it. Oh boy. I don't know if I can enter down, but we'll try. Don't enter down like I did because I'm not sure if it'll work. If you can leave it all on one line, please do that. I'm just trying to put it on two lines so you guys can see it all. 10, 11, 20. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's fine. I figured it would be fine because in most situations, if you have like a open parenthesis or open anything and you just hit enter, it'll continue until it's closed. Okay, so that's our report, just this big character string. Next will be our extract. So we're going to use str extract report, and we want to extract the first match. So we're going to write double backslash, I keep calling it backsplash, 2 dash. So the double backslash is obviously going to allow the backslash to then work. And then it's grabbing the digits within the date. You'll see in a second. Okay, I think I did that right. Okay, so this extracted sometimes I do the wrong symbol. So this only extracted the first match. In this case, it was the date. And so it returned at 10/09/2020, which was the first date in our character string called report. So next, we're going to run this output and use the str extract all. And again, we're going to add the same thing that we did here. So I'm sure you can probably guess what this will do since this was only extract and this is extract all. So if we run our output down here at the bottom in your console, it'll show you your two matches from this report item. So in what kind of like usage would you use this? First, we're gonna make another, we're gonna return to our fruit, our X, our fruit vector. And when you set up this detect, this str detect function, you want to set it up by having the string, and this is kind of how a lot of these are set up. You're going to have your string item here, which is like whatever your like vector or name of something is, and then you're going to identify the pattern or indicate the pattern you're looking for or detecting for. So how we're setting that up with our fruit vector is, oh, we're going to name it match. And then str detect X, and then we're going to just write array. So we want to look for within this string, this pattern ERY. So when we run that, what does match give us? Okay, so it returns a logical output of false, true, true. So that's telling us that in the string X, the first item does not have this pattern, but the second and third items do. And that's why they're indicated as true. So in like another more real example, we can use our US rent income. There it is, our US rent income data set that's in R. And we're going to first make all the column names lowercase. And I know there's a way to do this using the janitor clean to names function, but like for the sake of this, there's a way to do it with just using string. So I'll just show you how you would do that here. str to lower, name. So mutate, just to recap, mutate is making the new column. And then filter, we're going to filter out for where name, we're in the, so we're detecting in the column for name, we're looking for the pattern CA. So just to explain, this converts the state names to lowercase. And this is good to know in case there's any like discrepancies in your data. I know sometimes with certain data sets, there can be like differences in nomenclature or like case or having like a dash or an underscore or space or dot. So this is a way to kind of make everything more uniform. And then this is filtering out state names with the pattern CA. So when we run this, what's that look like? Okay, so it returns this table where there's only states that have CA, and that's California, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So yeah, helpful to know. I could see this being useful to me. And lastly, we're going to learn about string splits, string replace. Again, all things that could be useful when working with data like this. Because I know probably so far with working with data, it's felt a little impossible to work with vectors of character strings, but hopefully this made them seem a little less intimidating. I know they did for me. So first, we're gonna make a new, I title each of my sections because, or I do sometimes, I haven't done it super consistently throughout today, but I need sections when I code or else I have no idea what I'm doing. So first we're going to make a vector X and it'll be similar to our fruit, but we're going to make it look a little weird. So we see that apple has a space in it and it shouldn't. And we can use the function strReplace to replace that space. So when you want to replace a space, you actually in between the quotes need to put the space. If you put nothing, R recognizes that as nothing. So we want to replace the space with no space. So when we run that, it makes the apple, the E is now back together with the word apple. So, and obviously we can use strReplace all to do this for all situations where there's something that needs to be removed. So for this example, we're going to make a vector X again with these following character strings. 1 house, 2 cars, 3 people. But what if you did not want the numbers there? You wanted the words 1, 2, and 3. You could then str replace all X. And then because all of these are different, we want to replace the number 1 with the word 1 and number 2 with the word 2 and vice versa, and everything. So you're going to have to specify that for each character. But, I think in most situations, you hopefully don't have to specify too many. Okay. But if you just had one, say if like there was multiple spaces throughout this whole thing, you would use strReplace all and you could still just run this. Because if you're still only replacing one thing with one other thing, that's okay. You just need to do it for all. This will only do it for the first, I guess, like one or first match, so to speak. So if we run this, it replaces all of our numbers with the written out word 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then next, if we want to, we're going to use the function strSplit, and that's to extract out things from a character string. So first we're going to make an object called file name, and that's going to be capital D, learn, or put in CSV. Okay, and then run that. And so we have our file name over in the global environment. So we're going to name our output to save it. And then do strSplit, file name, and then you're going to indicate what you want to use as the separator. So, or the pattern that we're looking for. So when we run this, what is our output? You'll have to run output down in your console. So it basically splits up each character string in between each of the backslashes. But if you wanted this in a vector, you could then, oh, okay, sorry, I'm moving forward too fast. So additionally, like now we have separated out each of these pieces. Say you just wanted to know the name of the file and whatever, you could then use indexing using brackets to do this. So if we do output of the first, so we're kind of using down here how this is identified. So within this output, within the double brackets, I want the fourth item. So then I'm going to do 4 in my regular brackets. And when we run that, it just extracts the file name. And then if you wanted your like output to be put in its own vector, you could do that. Because obviously the output just gives you this list, which like is not very user friendly. So to do that, we would do use this function called unlist. So just so you can see the difference, I'm going to name this output 1 and then use the function unlist our output. And if we look at output 1, it then actually gives us the actual vector. So then you could just index this just using the fourth element. So yeah, so this is just another way to extract. So this also extracts this file name. This is just another way to do it because outputs are generated in this weird like listed kind of way. Whereas this will make a little more sense and be in just like a regular vector. And it'll just be easier to work with that way. And then it looks like the one last little piece of the lesson in here is obtaining PDF text. I don't know that I actually ended up running this, so we'll see what it looks like together. Obtain the PDF. I recommend just copying this over from the GitHub page. It's at the very bottom underneath, right above the recap. We're naming something called PDF file, and it's this long website. So I'm just going to copy it over and then run that. And then next you're actually going to install another package called PDF tools. And then when that's done, you can load it. Okay. And when we use one of these PDF tools called PDF text, so this is a function from the PDF file. see what happens. Okay. Then this gave me all of the text that's within that PDF. So if you ever want to learn more about a package, and this will probably be helpful for the one exercise, you could always go in your packages and click on one that you want to learn more about, and it'll open up in your help window. And there's all these different functions in here. So if you want to learn more about PDF data, it'll tell you about how to use that one. You know, so yeah, that was pretty much everything for today. I am not sure who is running office hours tomorrow. Jesse, are you on this call? No, okay. I guess Jesse couldn't make it this week. So I unfortunately will not be here tomorrow. I know Min was out this week, and I see someone is asking about chatting more during office hours. I'm actually not 100% sure if there are any. Does anyone know? Because I'm not available to run it. And if Min is also not available, I want to make sure that's removed from the calendar, and we'll set up office hours for this another time.
Yeah, that's okay. I just had some more, simple questions, just basic questions that I could probably get answered otherwise.
Okay, actually, if it's just you, then maybe if everyone else is good, we could just stick around, you and I can maybe hopefully answer some questions, or I can just like call you on Teams individually right after this if you want, whatever.
I can't do it right after, but maybe
Okay,
around
that's
noon
fine.
if you're available.
What time?
Noon, perhaps.
Oh, are you in California or West Coast?
Arizona. That's
Arizona.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. Because I don't know what time it is by you, but it's almost 2 here, and I'll be out of here in less than 2 hours. But maybe I'll send you an email, Melody, and we can set something up.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. With Min being out this week and I just came back from vacation, I was on vacation last week. I haven't talked to Min, and I'm not totally sure what's going on with tomorrow. But yeah, unless anyone has any last minute questions, this is pretty much it for today's lesson. Thank you for attending and hanging in there. I know R is a lot, and it's a very steep learning curve, and I know it feels like we're kind of just like full steam ahead into it, like, from the jump, but that's kind of just how it is. There's kind of no other gentler way to introduce you to R until you're just kind of like head first into it, So I hope this was helpful, and we'll try to make sure that all your resources that you need are available on the Teams page. For those of you who joined this training and are not part of the Marama R Exchange work group and you are interested, please reach out to Min or myself, or Jesse Carpenter from Marama, and we can get you added to our email list. We meet once a quarter, and that's kind of where we were inspired to start these trainings, is through that work group. Min and I run it, and instead of doing a meeting over the summer, we decided to host a training for intro level R learning. And obviously we plan to do more trainings in the future, probably more advanced trainings in the future. That's what everyone's been asking for. So definitely, if you want to keep in the loop about that stuff, definitely reach out to us about joining the Marama R Exchange. And usually during those meetings, people just go over projects they're working on related to air quality, usually to some degree, and how they're using R for their work. And it's really interesting. It's a really good time to like learn a lot and get feedback from other folks and just kind of learn how other people are handling their data, because air data is like a lot. So thanks everyone for hanging in there. And like I said, please reach out to us if you have any questions or need anything. And enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jessica. Could you share the link for the Marama R Exchange website?
So there is no website. If you want to be added to the list, you could just email me or Min. I can put my email in the chat for you.
Okay. Probably already in the list, but I will double check. Thank you.
Yeah, I if you joined one of the like Friday office hour sessions, and I know I talked to a couple people during those and got them signed up. So if you already did that, you don't need to. But yeah, if you're still interested, you could email myself, Min, or Jesse Carpenter from Marama.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Jesse, will you guys leave the the mini-air.github.io website available for in the future? For the agenda and the week 1 to 6 be available for us in case we need to go back and then remind ourselves?
Yeah, the GitHub page I think has existed even before this. I think this is what Min used to do her. She created this training herself and ran it in PADEP. I don't know when, within the last like year or so, I guess. And I think that's just what she's still using. So I think, yeah, it should just continue to be available. It's just on that GitHub page. So as long as you have the link, you should be able to access it.
Okay. Yeah, I put the link into my page. So thank you so very much for your patience, instruction, this clear stuff from start to finish. I appreciate you all for your help and have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you. You too.
Hi, Jesse. This is Mary Welsh from Idaho, and I had a quick question. I haven't seen this before, and I have to apologize. I've been kind of spotty in my ability to join in recently, but when I went to do the install packages of the PDF tools, I'm not getting the greater than character in the lower screen. So then when I try and do library, I see the library PDF tools like command like basically repeated in the lower screen, but it's got no greater than right before it. Does that mean my packages is taking forever to install?
Are you able to share your screen?
I should be.
The button's in the top right next to the leave button.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, hit share. Okay, there we go. So can you see it?
Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Sometimes R gets stuck. So hit that. You see, how do I?
You can see I tried to.
Yes.
I tried to do a bunch of different things.
So this happens sometimes in the console. I don't know. Oh, is there anyone still on that knows this better than me? Okay, no. Okay, that's fine. So, and I don't know what to like call this, but it's basically like the console. Like that's why the reason your little greater than sign isn't showing up. Like that's like the command line. It's like stuck, and you see there's that little stop sign. Can you click that stop sign next to the broom in the top right corner of your console?
Up here?
No. So if you go to the bottom left, like quadrant of your screen, the console, okay, and then in the top right corner of just this box, there's like a little stop sign. Can you click that? Did it do anything?
It doesn't appear to be doing anything. I'll do it
Okay.
again. Oh, there we go.
Okay, click yes. So it's just restarting R for you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah,
This was
sometimes it gets stuck. I don't know what happens, but the console gets like stuck sometimes, and I don't know why. And you kind of gotta like tell it like stop whatever you're doing and start over.
okay. It must be maybe our network today, because it happened to me twice and I completely
Oh.
got out of R and then got back in and then was trying to catch up with you guys, and then it happened
Oh.
again, and I'm like, wait a minute.
We'll try running
So-
your install packages now and see if it works. So it does take a bit.
And so I get there. Do I have to wait for the carrot to
Oh.
return?
I
Or
think so. And that's probably
Okay.
where it got stuck, because you were probably trying to do more. Let me see how mine looked when oh, I'm not sure. So yeah, it might just take a while.
Okay.
I feel like I don't remember mine looking like this. Or I'm
Yeah,
not sure. I forget what mine looked like, and it sucks because like once you install something, you kind of like can't install it again.
Oh, you don't get the same response like
Oh
if
wait.
yeah.
Yeah, no, oh wait, maybe I am. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Binary versions are available, but the versions are later. Oh. Hit enter in your console. Does anything happen? Like if you're
Like
clicked
down
in on,
here?
yeah. If you click enter, no, nothing. Okay.
Yep. This is what happened to me earlier, and
Because
I
it
was
looks like it, I guess the version of because it's I'm like reading what it says. There are binary versions available, but the source versions are later. Da, 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 da. And this happened when you tried to load Tidyverse as well?
No.
Or no, when you tried to install the HTML widgets package, probably.
It may have occurred then. Yeah, I think it maybe happened the first time when we went to install that one.
Okay.
I had to close out, so I don't have that. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm gonna post the script on Teams as soon as I hop off this call, so it'll be there
Okay.
in case you need it. Okay, package. Okay, so see at the top of your script, your top left, and it says like there's like a little warning symbol. It says package PDF tools required, but is not installed.
Right.
Can
So
you
then
and
hit
then
install.
can you click install and see what happens? It might take a while. So that's possible. It does sometimes take packages a long time to install. However, I don't believe I had this issue.
Yeah, when it first happened this morning, I thought, well, I think my R is stuck. So I think I'm just going to save what I've done thus far, get out, and then get back in. But it was literally taking forever to even just close out of R. So
weird. Let me see if there's check for package updates. Oh geez. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of like seeing slash talking to myself to see if there's a way, because I wonder if it has something to do with the version of R you're using. I mean, I feel like that shouldn't matter, but that's so weird. Version control.
like, yeah, trying to. Where does it say what version we're running again?
I'm not even sure.
Oh.
I don't know all these little tricks. That's what my TAs are for.
Right, right.
I'm honestly kind of like not a super huge art expert either. I kind of know mostly like basics. So
Yeah.
that's why it was okay for me to teach this training. But yeah, I'm so sorry. What I can do is either look into this or I do work with someone in my group who knows R a lot better than me. He's
Okay.
out today,
Okay.
and I'm out tomorrow. So I will write myself a note and perhaps get back to you if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Okay, sorry. I couldn't. Because I'm not sure. And honestly, when it comes to R, like I'm always like, I need to see your screen because I have no idea like what possibly you could be looking at, you know?
I know. And then I'm not patient. So then, of course, I'm going back up here and trying to run all this other stuff, which I think is just like
Mhm.
probably not helping them.
Yeah, whenever you see like whenever R is running something that's taking a while, that little stop sign pops up, but
Yeah.
usually it kind of like comes in and out, like it blinks slowly,
Yeah.
indicating that it's like doing something and it's not
Yeah.
even blinking. So I'm like,
Yeah.
something might be wrong. So if that happens and you kind of want to get out of it, you can just always click the stop sign and it'll like just quit and restart,
Okay.
and reopen everything you had. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this maybe a little deeper.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
It could very well be our network. More than likely, it could be the version of I think we had the most recent version, but then we had problems. So I think we had to go back like a version. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll try some of the other stuff. Whenever I've not been able to make it, I've been trying to get on to go through the videos. So if I have any more issues, I'll definitely let you guys know. But it could very well be my network today. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's okay. I will say I didn't realize Jessie wasn't going to be here this week, and I don't believe because she was recording the meetings,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know if I have the recordings from this week. However, I trust and believe that if you went through, I know the recordings make it helpful, but I'll try to add a lot of notes in my code, even in places where maybe I didn't add them
Okay.
during the lesson today. I'll go through it right now and see where I can add more notes so it's more helpful.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't know that we have the recordings. I'm so sorry. The
Oh,
end of
that's
this was a
okay.
little disorganized because of people being out.
Yeah.
And we all work for like different state agencies and stuff, so we don't like know each other like that, you know? So it just kind of we weren't able to get the recording. So sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna look into this and I'll get back to you or if you're able to resolve it, let me know. That'd be great.
Okay.
And otherwise, I will email you next week with
Okay.
hopefully some advice.
No problem. Well, I greatly appreciate it. This has been great, and I want to wish everybody a very nice holiday weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. Thank you. I'm glad
All
you got a lot out of it. That's what
all
we
right.
wanted. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.